Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Lucas. Lucas is from Toronto in Canada. So let's see what Lucas has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Lucas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
My God, look your background. Tell me, where are you right now? It can be this big river lake just behind you.
This is a lake. It's in the Muskoka region of Ontario in Canada, and a lot of places here look like this in southern Ontario.
Wow, amazing. Wow. So tell me, where are you from, Lucas?
I was born in Eastern Europe. I was born in Poland, and I currently live in Toronto in Canada.
Oh, wow. And why the change from Poland to Canada?
Uh, well, my parents thought that the Russians were going to be invading because it was the end of the 80s, and they decided to move. Fortunately, nothing happened and the communism fell, but we ended up in Canada.
So you lived most of your life in Canada?
Yes, yes, I have. Well, a good two-thirds of it.
I see. And do you still have family back in Poland, or most of them they moved as well to Canada?
Most of my family is all around the world, had a very war-torn history, and my family's been um, coming and going for the past few hundred years. So I have family all over North and South America, Europe, um, Asia, even Australia, and even at one point we had family in Africa.
Wow.
But once the colonies stopped being, they were decolonized, they all left for North or South America.
It's interesting saying that, Lucas, because my great-great-grandmother was from Poland, actually. I'm from Brazil. So once I was having a conversation with my grandmother, and she was telling me about her grandmother who came from Poland during that time.
Well, if your mom was from like the Sao Paulo, I mean, great grandmother was from the Sao Paulo region, I know that is where one of my great aunts ended up. And
actually, she was.
Yeah.
We might have
You never know.
We might have
Family relationships, absolutely.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. You never know. So Lucas, tell me, how's your day going so far? I can see that you are in a very beautiful place. So tell me, what has been the highlights of your weekend so far?
Well, it's a long weekend here. I think a lot of places celebrate Labor Days. We have Monday off, so usually on weekends like this, we go somewhere pretty like this. There's lots of places like this here, so just relax with friends, just playing cards, things like that. Just being in the water, being outside.
Amazing. So tell me, what do you do for work, for living, Lucas?
I'm actually a letter carrier. I'm a mailman for the Canadian Postal Service.
I see. All around Toronto area, Ontario?
That's right. I work in Toronto. That's correct.
I see.
It's a very blue collar job.
Amazing. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your point of views, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Oh gosh, I love to travel. I've been to almost 70 countries now, and
Wow.
that is my passion. So I have the job that I have because it allows me a large amount of free time where I can get to travel. I travel as much as I can, about 2 months a year.
Wow. So tell me, which country was the latest one that you visited this year?
So in February, we were in El Salvador and Mexico.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Yeah. Very good. Lukas, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Sure, let's go.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So okay. I have here my best friend. random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to relax before the first question, right? Let's do it. Okay, so before we start the journey, doing the... Oh my God, who's that?
This is Newton. He's our friend's dog. I'm just dog sitting him right now while they went to another house on this lake to pick up dinner.
Oh my God, that's sweet. Keep him, yes, keep him on if you can.
Sure.
So
yeah,
before
he's very friendly.
Before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Sure.
First question for you is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
Oh, yes, I think a lot of my friends are. I think, just being themselves and doing what they like to do and being able to do what they want to do is something very important,
Tell me
like following your passion.
What's the biggest difference between you and your best friends, and the biggest similarity?
Well, the biggest difference is that my best friend currently lives in Australia and I live in Canada.
Okay.
And our biggest similarities is that we are very bad for each other when we are trying to say no.
That's funny.
Because because it's when it's a bad idea, we're both going, no, let's do it. So we have gotten into some big trouble before.
It's funny. Okay, so let's pretend now let's see now that your best friend is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say?
I miss you. I miss hanging out with you. But I know you're in a good place, and I can't wait to see you again.
Beautiful, amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
Most beautiful thing. To me, I think I love you. Yeah, because I mean that my partner, my parents, my sibling. I think that is something that is not something that people should say lightly, but when you do say it, you should say it, because you never know when it could be the last time you ever say it to them.
Absolutely. And your partner, your partner is from Canada, or is from Poland as well?
No, he is from Canada. His background is Portuguese.
And how did your path cross, if you can share?
We were actually working in different provinces at the time, a few thousand kilometers apart. And we just met on a social app. And when he moved to go back to school in the province that I live currently, then we just went out for sushi for lunch one day, and we've been together ever since.
Sweet, very sweet. Next question, let's do it. Lucas, before the next question, of course, doing on your profile, on your platforms on social media, you talk a lot about, gay bears, about your travels, about your community. So tell me, I believe that I had so many guests on the show right now from the bear community, yeah? And of course, I think that the bear community has grown so much. I think people nowadays, they embrace so much about, the way they look, the size, or the way they want to express themselves. In your opinion, or in your experience, why do you think that nowadays the bear community became so huge, so popular right now?
I think just being comfortable with who you are, the way you look, is very important. After all, you only have one body, and it's the part that gives you a lot of pleasure, and society makes us feel about the way we look a lot of times, and I think it causes a lot of harm to a lot of people. And now that we are connected through the internet, a lot of people like chunky guys, and it's just so much easier to connect over the internet. But there's communities everywhere, right? It's not even about being big or chunky or anything in my experience. It's just about being authentically you and being comfortable in your own skin. So there's space for everybody in many bare places. So I think I think that's where it's at, right?
Absolutely. And also as well, some guests I had here on the show from the bear community, they said that sometimes as well, they can be very exclusive and they don't let other tribes, other people to get, what I mean, into the community as well. Not everywhere, of course.
Yeah.
However, some people experience that. And do you feel like in Toronto or, around your area where you live, for the bear community, do you think that people, they feel free to be part of it as well? They kind of feel welcome. How do you see that?
I think just like in every other part of the world, that there's people that are easily welcomed into many aspects of their community, and then there's others who have a much harder time acclimatizing, just because of you know because they might come from somewhere else where being themselves is a lot harder, or they have a harder time accepting who they are too, right? Also, if you're not attracted to bears or things like that, it's also a lot harder to hang out in that kind of environment.
I see. Okay. Next question for you is, who would you swap lives with for a day if you could?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
If you had the superpower of swap lives for a day with anyone, who that would be and why?
Uh, See, I always thought about things like this, where, like, thinking of historical figures and who you would like to be. Um, I would like to see how their lives were. I don't think I would like to be them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, God, I would love to see like what happened in ancient Rome or ancient Greece, or be on the Silk Route during the um, 10th century or Middle Ages. That'd be so cool, right? But yeah, I don't really have anyone particularly I would like to swap places with.
And saying that, when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Lukas? What do you like the most about being you?
Um, I have a really good palate for food, and I really enjoy it. I love to cook. I love to eat. I love to share these experiences with my friends. I find them very social. We cook together, we eat together, So I think just having a lot of people who you enjoy being around with really makes living worth living.
Amazing. Good. Next question. Let's do it.
Sure.
Lucas from Canada. Next question is talking about best friends. Tell me something that your best friends, what do they do that always comforts you the most?
It's the small things that they do where you sometimes you don't realize you need somebody to be there for you, and they just show up. I think that is the mark of a true friend, just being there. And you don't have to be there physically, you can be there through a phone call, through an email, through something, it's I think that's important, like just spending time together. And it doesn't have to be often, but you still have to put that effort into spending time together.
Absolutely. I think friendship, friends, like close friends, don't choose them. They just come to you. It's a chemistry there. You know what I mean? You don't go around saying, you're going to be my best friend. You're going to be a best friend. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes you meet somebody, I'm like, oh, I think we are going to be very good friends. I mean, it's happened, right?
Absolutely. Next question. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Next one.
Let's do it.
Next question is, what scares you the most about your future?
Oh, there are very many possibilities. I mean, like, politics starting to lean very right wing, like having the rights that I have right now can easily be taken away. Not being who I am is also very hard. So, like things like that. Right now, I can live the authentic life that I choose to live without having to hide or, having, anything like that. So, I mean, seeing things around the world where, people's rights can be so easily taken away or, you know, having a war happen and things like that. It always gives you pause. But at the same time, I'm also you know, trying to live my best day every day. You're okay. You're okay. Come here. Ah, all right.
Oh,
Okay.
and tell me for you, how was for you growing up as a gay boy? Did you have the support of your family, or it was a bit difficult at the time?
Well, I grew up in a very conservative Catholic household. But I also chose to stay in Canada when my family thought about moving back to Central Europe. Um, I had a very wonderful childhood. I grew up in very small communities filled with lots of family. It wasn't until I became a teenager that I realized there might be something different with me. And there was some soul searching. I wasn't sure how my family would have accepted me. And then I chose to, I came out to a lot of people when I was a teenager, even before it was normal to do so. Um, I didn't come out to my family until I met my current partner, uh, because I decided that I wasn't going to come out to my family until I found somebody that I loved.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
And
and then it turned out that it was okay. Yeah.
do you think before you came out to your parents and family, do you think they knew it?
I thought they did. Well, my cousins definitely knew. Um, it turns out that they told my aunts and uncles. My parents, on the other hand, did not. So
Yeah,
it was a bit of a shock to them, but not the rest of the family.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, as you have the opportunity having two, let's say, culture growing up and, two different countries, tell me something. Two questions in one. The first part of the question is, when you think about Poland, what's the memory, the best memory that comes to your mind? And the second part of the question is, what's the biggest difference between both culture, Polish and Canadian?
Oh, it's funny because it's not just a culture thing; it's also a language thing. I find that when I switch between one language to the other, my train of thinking changes as well. Um, I think English is a lot more straightforward. It
Mm-hmm.
is a lot more based to. It's a lot easier to communicate with other people, especially with things to do with business. Um, Polish is a lot more precise, um, and it's a beautiful language in itself. I think the differences would be, there's 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 many and varied. I think here in Canada, friendships and your own personal life is what comes first. I think in Poland, at least when I was still living there, family was something that was coming first, right? And it's not saying that family here is not as important, but you do put your needs here a lot further ahead than if somebody's doing something bad in your family, it's not tolerated as much.
I see. And when you think about Poland, what's the best memory that comes to your mind growing up?
Um, Honestly, I think it's my family that I was there, like being in my grandmother's kitchen, like, or going for bike rides with my grandfather when I was a kid, or swimming in the canal with my cousins. They're memories of childhood and teenagehood, right? I moved here as a teenager. Um, so the difference is also when I left, Poland was still a communist country. When I go back now, um, it is my memories of that country are from a time when they had a very different system of governance. So as much as the culture and certain things are the same, the country has moved on and changed, but without me.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what's the best advice have you ever received?
Best advice I have ever received. Just be yourself. I think that is the best advice I have ever received. And sometimes it's better not to open your mouth and just stay quiet. Yeah.
Once somebody told
you don't need to share your opinion on every subject.
That's so true. Once I heard, if you have nothing to say, it's better just to, to stay, calm and don't say anything.
Exactly. I think that is very good advice, yeah, sometimes it's better not to say anything.
Just be quiet and listen to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
3 questions left. Let's do it. Next question is, tough question. What has been the lowest point of your life?
The lowest point in my life. When my sister got sick, I think that was the lowest point on my life. Just hearing the doctor say that she wouldn't live past a certain lifespan, and it was very hard because you see somebody that you love, that you have grown up with, pretty much deteriorate in front of your eyes. It screws you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the opposite, what has been the happiest moment or the happiest point in your life so far when you analyze, your life?
I think the happiest moments in my life are where I just let go and where I get to travel and experience new things and new cultures, or even just come up to a place like this, where I can just decompress.
Oh, sweet. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Before the next question, talking about your travels, you've been in almost 7 different countries. My God, amazing. Tell me 2 questions. The first part of the question is, tell me a moment through your travels, like to a place where you've been that for you was like a surprise, something that you're not expecting, something that was like, whoa, I was expecting to see that or to do that or to, to present something. And the second part of the question is, what's the country that you've been that's left a big mark in your heart for any reason?
I think people are a lot kinder and nicer to travelers than most people expect, especially if you travel the same way that the locals do. They're a lot kinder. They tend to help you a lot when you get lost, even if you don't speak their language. You hear all these horror stories of people getting, robbed and, things happening to them. And you have to have a good head on your shoulders too. But, I've gotten help so many times because I've gotten lost or I've gone somewhere, I took the wrong bus, and, or we were on a crowded bus and people were helping to, pass the luggage above their heads just so we could get out. All in all, humanity is a lot nicer than you see on television.
That's so true.
And what was the second part?
Which country left a mark in your heart for any reason?
There's there's many places that I love going to because I love large cities. I love large cities. I love the energy they have, the possibilities of just doing many different things. I'll tell you some of my favorite cities. So one of my favorite cities in South America is actually Sao Paulo, just because it is vibrant. It has lots of things to do. The people are super friendly. Um, and I always have a really good time when I'm there. I'm actually going back there in February again.
Wow.
In Asia, in Southeast Asia, I love Bangkok. It's similar things. It's a large city, lots of people, great food, lots to do, great places to hang out, super friendly people. And then in Europe, I would say Istanbul is my favorite city in Europe. Just because, same thing, a large city, lots of things to do, great food, lots to see, lots of history.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, what's the most romantic thing someone has ever done for you?
Surprisingly, I am not a very romantic person. The most romantic thing someone can actually do for me is like take me on a trip. And I do this with my partner on a regular because I feel that if you can't travel with somebody, it's probably a bad sign about a relationship. If you ever want to test out your relationship, go on a trip with them.
Yes.
Because you will really find out very fast. You're okay. You're okay. You will find out really fast how they are.
I like that, actually. I like that concept. And it's so true because when you travel with someone, you're going to spend some time, you're going to see different things. You're out of your routine, their routine as well. And I think that when you're going to get to know each other much better.
Absolutely. Wow. I mean, before I met my current partner, I went on a few trips with some potential people, and we did not travel well together whatsoever. But the current partner that I have, we travel well together.
Amazing, beautiful. Last question, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Last question. During the interview, you mentioned that you love cooking, yeah? So tell me, what do you like to cook the most? And also tell me something that you can't eat or you don't like to eat at all.
Oh, that is very easy. I don't like meat jello.
Okay.
It is something that you see in Polish cooking and also in several other cultures. There is just something about the texture and the flavor of it that just does not agree with me. Otherwise, I'm pretty good with many different foods. The things that I love cooking are stews, soups. I like all kind of potato dishes. I like baking, so I make a lot of galette, tarte. I actually just made a tarte tatin for dinner. So those kind of things I really like making. Just simple peasant food, I guess they would call it. Like home cooking is my favorite. I love home cooking is my favorite. Like things that your grandmother would make or that you would find like in a farmer's house. That's my favorite thing.
Amazing. Okay. Last question is, what's your favorite weekend activity?
My favorite weekend activity is being near or in water. So whether it is swimming at a lake like here, or boating, or being in a river tube, floating down a river, or going to an ocean and jumping through the waves, or just going to a river and sitting and putting my feet in it, that is my favorite thing.
Amazing. Very good. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Sure.
One word for family.
Family. Oh, friend. Because for me,
money.
My family is, money. Oh, vacation.
Okay. Life.
Life. Ah, celebration.
Okay. Fear.
Fear. Heights.
Love.
Love. Ah, yeah, that's gonna be my partner.
Okay. Sex.
Oh, it's gonna sex. It's sex. Mm. Men. Yeah, definitely that one.
Okay. Religion.
Ah, complicated.
Friendship.
Um, good times.
Politics.
Hating it.
Desire.
Desire. Beauty.
Regret.
Regret. None.
Success.
Success. Uh, living my own life. So one word answers, or can it be longer?
Just one word.
One word. Success. Travel.
Wish.
Wish. Long life.
Happiness.
Happiness. Good food.
One word for Poland.
Poland. Past. It's
One
my
word for
past.
one word for Canada.
Canada. Life. In my current life.
And the last one now. Bear community. One word.
Also complicated.
Okay. I was expecting that answer. Interesting.
Yes.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, define Lucas in one positive word and one negative word only. What your partner would say?
One positive and one negative.
Yes.
Positive. Have a nice. My negative. I am. I am disorganized.
Interesting. Okay, let's play now Lucas and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, but before you ask me the question, what's your favorite Polish word?
My favorite. Okay, so it's not a nice word, but my favorite word is zaraza.
Which means?
It's sort of like, it means illness, but it's sort of describing a person where they're a bit of a.
Oh my God. I need to put beep.
Yeah. Yes, definitely put a beep over that one.
You can ask me a question now, Lucas.
Okay, so what kind of food is your comfort food?
Oh my God, beautiful question. You know what? The first thing that came to my mind right now, it's very simple, very traditional in Brazil, which is rice and beans. I grew up eating rice and beans every single day. So, we eat that with, you can have meat, you can have fish, you can have pasta, you can have different dishes, but we always have rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
So when I eat it, it just comforts me. It brings me to my childhood memories, and I just feel like it's a taste that is unique and different. So I think I know it's very simple, but rice and beans for me are the best mixture bag that can have, for sure.
I agree with you. I think the same thing. Comfort food needs to be simple and something that is flavorful and brings you back to a good place.
Beautiful. Absolutely. That's how I see as well. Did you enjoy the interview, Lucas?
I did, William. It was very nice to meet you. I hope you go far with your venture.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet and accepting the invitation as well. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
This has nothing to do with my life. However, I have always thought that it was a great quote. It's from a woman called Dorothy Parker. She was born in the 1920s, or the quote is anyways from the 1920s. She was part of the Algonquin Round Table in New York City, and she was once asked what she thought about horticulture, and her answer was, "You can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think."
Interesting. Wow. I like that.
And I thought, you know what? I can apply that to my life, because you can lead somebody to anything, but you can't make them do it. So, if you're going to do something, you really need to do it yourself.
Absolutely. Great. Amazing. And before you go, if you can show just a little bit again, this beautiful scenario behind you, because it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
I'm sure people appreciate to see that in Canada.
Okay. So I am on Lake Mawatuabing. This is in a region called Muskoka. It is about 2 hours north of Toronto.
Wow.
And these are traditional cottages for many families to own and rent for the weekend here. They used to start out as fishing and hunting lodges, and over the years they became larger and larger.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Wow.
I don't know if you can see the sun behind me.
Yes, I can.
And we're actually far enough north that sometimes we can see the aurora borealis here at night. The night is clear.
And how far is this place from Toronto?
It's about 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's funny because Canadians tell distance by time. I don't actually know what the distance is. 2 hours by car, going about 100 kilometers an hour.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Regards to your friend. Enjoy your dinner today, and we keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was mine, William. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.